Welcome to the Natural Way of Being video blog. This video is titled, Choose Your Level of Vibration. Now, by vibration, I mean like energetically, we vibrate. And there's levels of vibration, if you will. And you've all experienced this. I'm going to call a high level of vibration is like how you feel when you watch the sunset, or you do a really cool meditation, or you're in your like yoga shavasana and you're just feeling like, wow, I'm connected, I'm awake. Those are higher levels of vibration. Lower levels of vibration, we've all experienced those as well. It's when we get into anger and judgment and feeling oppressed and like it's not fair and that type, feeling like a victim. We've all experienced that as well. And there's everything, it's a continuum, there's everything in the middle of those things. And our mind, has a big effect on whether what we focus on and where we focus our mind really has a big effect on what level of vibration we experience life from, and as, actually. So it's interesting to note that our natural state of being, our natural way of being, I've been known to call it, is that we vibrate at a high level. It's only our conditioning, the things that we learned about ourselves that weren't true, our untruths, our belief systems, our fears, our issues, whatever, our trauma or whatever, that those are the things that conditioning, I'm just going to call it, those things like tend to have us vibrate at a lower level. But when we're in our natural state, we vibrate high. So we get a choice about where we vibrate. In fact, we are choosing our level of vibration at any given moment. Now, we may not always consciously choose this. In other words, when we're in our stuff, then we're unconsciously choosing a lower level of vibration. When we're meditating, when we're walking in nature and we're one with the trees, we're choosing in this way, we're consciously choosing in a sense to vibrate at a higher level. And so this blog is about being more conscious about how you vibrate, if you will. The first thing to determine is what it's like for you, what it feels like, and what types of activity lend to like higher levels of vibration. And again, that for me, that might be meditating. It might be being out in nature, being next to the ocean. Also like helping other people. When I'm trying to help get through, when I'm trying to guide someone else, I get out of myself and my vibration naturally goes higher because I'm no longer in my conditioning, right? I forget about my conditioning for a minute because I'm trying to help someone else, and then I naturally vibrate high again. Now, lower vibration, that's kind of when I get into judgment, it's like, and a lot of it for me is just not accepting things the way they are. It's like, it shouldn't be this way, or there's so much corruption at the hospital that I work at, and then when I really focus on that, now, not that there's not, of course there is corruption, and I can choose to change that, but when I just kind of focus on it and I'm really not really trying to change it, I'm just bemoaning my fate of being, then my vibration tends to go lower. And so it's really important that you, determine what tends to create high level of vibration for you and what tends to create low level. What does high level of vibration feel like? What does low level of vibration feel like? And so we're increasing our consciousness and our awareness of our level of vibration. Just like anything, when we increase our awareness on something, we get more choice. We get more on like where to be on that continuum, if you will. So if you want to vibrate at a higher level, it may be useful to create a practice to do so, a discipline, if you will. But discipline's it's not like a forced drag thing that you do to be more spiritual. It's something that you do because you want to enjoy life more. Because when you vibrate high, life is enjoyable. When you're vibrating low, life is no fun. Okay, so do a practice so you can enjoy life more. So life is more fun. Okay, and so don't do it because it's what spiritual people are supposed to do, or but that's what don't force this regiment on yourself. And this practice can be very simple. It's just noticing when you're vibrating higher and noticing when you're vibrating lower. And when you do notice yourself vibrating lower, you can just say, whoa, I'm vibrating in a low sort of way here, however you say that. And what can I do to, get over myself, if you will? And it really is, because it's when I'm focusing on myself and how I am and my identity, and that's when we tend to vibrate lower. So how do I get over myself and shift so I can naturally vibrate high again? Do I go on a walk? Do I listen to music? Do I talk to a friend? Do I meditate? Do I do yoga? What do I do to bring my vibration back up again? And so this is how we choose our level of vibration. So it's like, give yourself a gift. Give yourself the gift of high vibration. Give yourself the gift of enjoying your life. And also, you'll be gifting all the people around you too, right? Because when we vibrate lowly, we don't have a real great effect on the people around us. It actually extends much further than we might realize. Our contribution to life and to the planet is now kind of low level of vibration. When we vibrate high, we're giving this awesome gift ultimately to ourself, to life, to everyone around us, and to the universe. We're like offering this awesome gift. This is a big choice, no pressure, but it's a big choice to make. It's like how we choose to, my teacher used to say, how do you choose to reflect your Buddha nature? Was his kind of Zen koan that he gave to me. And it's like, if we're vibrating low, then we're reflecting our Buddha nature with a low vibration. If we reflect high, we're reflecting our Buddha nature with a high vibration. And it's all about us being aware enough to make this choice. So I'd invite you to just think about what types of experiences tend to lead to you vibrating at a high level. What types of experiences tend to lead to you vibrating at a low level? What types of thoughts, tend to lead to high? What types of thoughts tend to bring you back into your conditioning again and bring you low? And so it's like, my invitation is to just work with this and play with it and see how it feels. If you're enjoying life, you're probably vibrating high. If you're not enjoying life, something's off. You're probably vibrating low. If life's not enjoyable, something's off. You can shift something to enjoy it more again. Now, you may be feeling sad, and that doesn't necessarily need to be a low level of vibration. Sometimes life is painful or sad. You can still feel sadness and vibrate at a high level. But a lot of times it's not just pure sadness, it's our stuff that's causing our suffering. And if we're causing suffering by focusing on our stuff, then we have a choice to shift ourselves and vibrate at a higher level. So anyway, that's my video blog. I hope you have an awesome week and that you allow yourself to vibrate at a really high level, because that is your natural state after all. Thanks so much, and I'll see you in a week.